Coming to you live from the JRE Tobacco Aladino Mobile Studios, it's the Cigar Pulpit.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm the Bishop of the Burn, Nick, and today we've got good news. It's actually good news. You know, I feel like there's not enough of that in our world these days. You know, that's part of why I was doing the Fly High with Blackbird, but you guys, you know, didn't want that anymore. So, you know, I moved on. You know, we're doing something different with that now. But, there's good news. There's good news. And it has to pertain with Nicaragua. There was some news on that front this week, and it was positive. It actually was positive for cigars. I just, for the life of me, I don't know how cigars just keep managing to kind of dodge the bullets. You know, you had FDA coming at them, and don't get me wrong, there was a lot of money and a lot of time that went into fighting that. You know, so I'm not saying that like the cigar industry got lucky there, but a little luck played into that. You had a judge, you had an FDA that was not prepared. You know, there was a lot going on there, but you know, they managed to fight that away, and you know, there's been all these other little things popping up. It's this and that and whatever. But by God, this Nicaragua thing, this was going to be a problem. And you know, on Wednesday the 10th, the word came down that there would be some tariff increases, but not on cigars. And I will get into all the specifics of that here shortly. But first, I'm going to fire up a cigar. And today, you know, because why not? We're going to smoke the Villiger 1888 Nicaragua in the Churchill size. It's a 7x47 with a Ecuadorian Sumatra seed wrapper, Nicaraguan binder, and Nicaraguan and USA Pennsylvania filler. Coming to you from the fine folks at Villiger Cigars. And it is time to cut the cigar. And the official cutting is brought to you by 2guyscigars.com. That's the number 2guyscigars.com. Two Guys have been around for 40 years, and they are the trusted name in the cigar industry. Everybody knows Two Guys, but if you don't, please give them a try. You won't be sorry. Family owned and operated, 2guyscigars.com does the very best to provide a great selection of, with fair prices. Great selection with fair prices. See, I get going too fast, and I just, you know, I get confident. Anyway, great selection, fair prices, and excellent customer service. So head on over to 2guyscigars.com for your next cigar purchase. Tell them that the Cigar Pulpit sent you. And remember, that's the number 2guyscigars.com. And with that, we're going to go ahead and cut the cigar. So, I'm going to show you. First of all, I found this Churchill in my humidor. Didn't know I had any of these 1888 Churchills left. So I'm excited because I like this cigar. This cigar, actually, we used this for the Long Ash competition at Pulpit Fest 2024. I'm trying to remember what we used this year, and I can't. And so, I don't know. I don't know, but might have been this again. I don't think so, though. Well, I don't know. Anyway, well, while we fire this guy up, why don't we go ahead and hear the greatest commercial you've ever heard?
Some say cigars are all the same. It's just not true. It's you I have to blame.
Well, I don't know, 'cause what I know, there is a cigar called Aladino.
Corojo. Aladino Corojo. Aladino Corojo. They say authentic, so we're not confused, while the others say it's a word that's just abused.
I guess that's so. They can't compete. At least I'm sure Aladino can't be beat.
Corojo. Aladino Corojo. Aladino Corojo. Aladino Cigars uses authentic Corojo tobacco from JRE Tobacco. This
Oh, I cut it off.
is the greatest commercial you ever heard. Yeah.
See, I got to remember, I can't do other things while that's playing. That was on me. I'm sorry. I screwed up. Anyway, yeah, Nicaragua. How about that? Let's bring up my notes here so that I can get this correct. So, Nicaraguan cigars will not be subject to a 100% tariff or additional tariffs above the current 18%. Right now, the United States has put a blanket 18% tariff on the country of Nicaragua. So that tariff is staying. However, there's not that additional tariff that's going to be put in place. So last month, the United States Trade Representative, or the USTR, made a recommendation of a 100% tariff on goods from Nicaragua. This was after a report that they compiled based off an investigation that they started in the Biden administration. So this started back in 2024. There were hearings in January of 25. They had testimony and evidence from I think 160 different witnesses, citizens, various, experts, things of that nature. So, I mean, this was a put together report. This was not bullshit. And they came together and they found that Nicaragua had violated human rights, labor rights, and fundamental freedoms. And so under Section 301 of the Trade Act of 1974, they can respond to unjustifiable, unreasonable, or discriminatory foreign government practices that burden or restrict U.S. commerce. That's what the United States was doing. So basically the USTR recommended suspending benefits under the Dominican Republic Central American Free Trade Agreement and implement a whole bunch more tariffs. And so basically what happened was on Wednesday, we thought that Nicaragua was going to have the hammer brought down on them because there were different options that the United States could do to Nicaragua, one of which being remove them from the free trade agreement and tariff everything at 100%. And that was kind of where things were looking. The report specifically came after agricultural products, including cigars, and, cited various abuses such as, child labor. And so it was not great. And so it was kind of one of those things that everybody was sitting back going fuck, this is going to be bad. This is going to be really bad. And, my little network of people, and I was reaching out, talking to them, and look, they'll never say it, publicly, and I understand why. But there are people in various trade organizations with the cigar industry that they were freaking out. They basically were the train has left the station here. I don't know if there's anything we can do. And, various people were freaking out. I've heard stories of manufacturers in Nicaragua that were scoping out land in the Dominican Republic, looking for places they could build a new operation when eventually they, have to move on. I mean, it wasn't good. There was a lot. Let's put it this way. This caused a lot of new gray hairs to pop up on the heads of a lot of cigar manufacturers. And I'm not saying that some of them aren't out of the woods completely. But that's a story for a whole nother day. And to be honest, that's not even relevant to this. But what it boils down to is there were other options that the U.S. government had. What they ended up doing, they did lobby additional tariffs on Nicaraguan products. However, they are going to be lobbied on or put onto products that are not originating under the free trade agreement. And since tobacco and cigars are covered by the Central American, Dominican Republic Central American Free Trade Agreement, because they're covered by that, they will not be subject to additional tariffs. They will still be subject to the 18% that was there before, but they will not be subject to additional tariffs. So that's what we want. It keeps things right where they're at. And those products that are going to face an increase, it's going to be a stair-step deal. So like in 2026, there's no additional tariff on it. In 27, the tariff will increase by 10%. And in 28, the increase will go to an additional 15%. So basically it's going to make for a 33% tariff on those products when you add that 18%. So the bottom line is things are where they're at. Now, where things could change even more is technically these tariffs that the president has been imposing on everybody. That's being challenged in the U.S. Supreme Court. So it's feasible. I don't know. I don't know much about that. So like I will not get into the weeds about whether or not I think they're constitutional or not. But my point is the legality of these tariffs are being challenged at the Supreme Court level. So it's feasible that the 18% may actually like go away or get knocked down back to where it was before or whatever, I don't know. I don't know. Bottom line, guys, those of us who like Nicaraguan cigars, I think a bullet was dodged this week. I know I recommended people stocking up. I know, some people did stock up. I know some retailers who stocked up. And I guess it's one of those things that, I guess they were better safe than sorry. I don't know what to say about that other than all signs pointed to this going really badly. And at like the last minute, it seems like things just worked out in the cigar industry's favor. So, this is not something that I think anybody, I don't know. Based off the rumblings I heard, I don't think anybody was predicting this was going to go this way. I think everybody was expecting the worst, and the quote unquote best, basically the non-option, came down, and I think that's a good thing. Now, let's be real. And I'm not saying this as a, it could be a criticism. With this administration, there is no predicting what's going to happen next. We've seen that with the other tariffs and everything else. One day it could be this, the next day it could be something else. On Wednesday, this was announced. Theoretically, next Wednesday, everything is out the window and we're going back to everything gets taxed at 100% or tariffed at 100%. I don't know. I would hope that it would keep some stability and we wouldn't see that happen. But, everybody should buckle up and stay prepared because, the word of the year, if there's one word, there's the word of the day calendars and everything. If there's the word of the year for 2025, it is chaotic. So, we'll see. We'll see how this goes down. Now, there are probably some cigar manufacturers out there that are sitting back, breathing a little easier, feeling good, feeling that weight come off their shoulders, feeling happy. This is not the time to feel that way, guys. I'm going to give you my 2 cents. This is my totally unsolicited, you're probably never going to hear it, much less take it advice. But my advice, this was a wake-up call, and you should get your shit together. The simple fact of the matter is, the government in Nicaragua is not a friendly government. And there are issues with Nicaragua and the United States. It's not the best relationship in the world. having all of your eggs in the Nicaraguan basket is probably not the smartest play going forward. A large number of you, can trace family history back to Cuba to the last time that a government came in and decided to just take everything you had, and you had family members that had to flee and start with absolutely nothing and get back on their feet. Do you want to be the next round of family members to do that? Because when, Nicaragua comes in and takes everything you own, do you want to be the next round of family members that has to start fresh in a different place because you weren't prepared? This was a wake-up call. And some of you were already looking at the Dominican Republic for land and places you could build a factory. Some of you were already thinking of different contingency plans as to what you were going to do. That's great. Keep at that. Figure that out. And diversify your facility portfolio. Have a backup plan, because this was, as I've said, a bullet dodged. And so if somewhere down the road something bad happens as it pertains to Nicaragua, and it very well could. I mean, let's be real. Look at what's happening in Venezuela right now with the United States government. Don't think for a moment that that mess may not very well spill over into the relationship with Nicaragua. I mean, it's feasible. It's not impossible to see. To be honest, I kind of thought that maybe that might be part of why the administration was going after Nicaragua before I, knew about the fact that this actually started under Biden. Hell, my research has found that the United States has actually wanted to stop being a trade partner with Nicaragua going back as far as 2004. So, I mean, we're talking over 20 years now. But be that as it may, it is what it is. What I'm saying is, you guys have been through shit going bad in a country before. And you've had to, you've had family members that have had to escape with only their lives and start fresh somewhere new. Don't make that mistake again and leave all of your eggs in that very potentially chaotic basket. Maybe consider this the moment that you need to think, maybe a facility in the Dominican Republic wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Maybe we should think about, another country that's a little bit more stable and friendly that we should set up in. Everybody thinks about Nicaragua, Honduras, the Dominican as cigar countries. Costa Rica, I know there's some. We get tobacco from Indonesia. I don't know how many are actually rolled there. But there's other places that you could go to set up and really crush it. I'm going to throw something out, and this is me totally just off the top of my head with very little geopolitical knowledge of this situation. So, take this with a giant grain of salt. But hey, Haiti is on the other half of the island with the Dominican Republic, and Haiti is constantly a shithole because Haiti is poor and poorly run, and it's not a great place for its people to live. Whereas the Dominican Republic, on the other hand, people go on vacation there. You have lots of cigar companies and everything there. It's the same freaking island. So maybe if the cigar industry wanted to be a true humanitarian, put together a true humanitarian effort, maybe the cigar industry could come in and, influence Haiti to allow for the sale of some land that they can grow, land that they can build facilities. You could provide jobs to the Haitian people. I mean, look, is it perfect? No. Is it going to work overnight? Absolutely not. It's a lot of work. But potentially the cigar industry could be the savior for Haiti. I'm just saying, it's a thought. something to consider and something to maybe look into. On the other hand, there are other countries that you could, Mexico. We get Mexican San Andreas tobacco. I mean, like, for God's sakes. I know that there's the financial realities of this. There's taxes, there's labor costs and all that, which, let's be real, that's why everybody was in Nicaragua for a lot of this, was labor costs were very low. But look at where that's gotten you. You've got the United States investigating, labor rights violations, human rights violations, and that sort of thing. And I'm not casting any aspersions on any specific companies. I would hope that everybody that I know and respect that is set up in Nicaragua has been doing it the right way. But I don't know, No, only they know, So my point is, there are other options than just Nicaragua. And maybe this is a wake-up call to expand your global presence and put yourself into some other countries so that you can not worry quite so much if and when another crisis between Nicaragua and the United States takes place. Just saying, maybe that's the smart play. I don't know. So, but that's my 2 cents on the matter. I'm happy for the manufacturers that this isn't going to come down this way. I mean, some of them were just going to be royally just screwed over. I mean, Aganorsa Leaf was that was one that was going to be bad. And then there's a lot of brands that get their tobacco from Aganorsa Leaf. That was going to be bad. There were Perdomo. There were a number of brands that this was going to hit really, really hard. And I'm happy that maybe has been avoided. All I'm saying is, don't rest on your laurels on this one. Just take this as a nice reprieve and start thinking ahead. That's all I'm saying. Anyway. What else can we talk about? I'm enjoying this cigar. I've been yakking, and so I have not, I gotta hit it with a little flame to keep it going. My Villiger 1888 Nicaragua. I'm hoping that, I don't know what I'm hoping. I just lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. So anyway, you know what? That was all I had on that. Let's go ahead and do this now. It's time for the Villiger Cigars Entertainment Report, brought to you by
Villiger.
Villiger Cigars, one of the leading cigar and cigarello manufacturers in the world, founded in 1888 and still family-owned and operated. Head over to VilligerCigars.com and check the store locator to find a shop near you that carries them. We guarantee that Villiger Cigars will be a wonderful addition to your humidor and cigar rotation. All right. So, what have I been watching lately? Obviously, since I last talked to you guys, there was my weekly wrestling show, and that was enjoyable. But the thing that I'm going to spend a little bit of time on is the season 1 finale of Bridgerton. Yes, Bridgerton. When I started this show, I never in a million years thought that I would end up not only being, I'm not going to say it's my favorite show ever, but I was invested enough to watch the finale by myself sitting in the garage with a cigar. By the end of it, you do learn who Lady Whistledown is. Lady Whistledown is the lady who writes the gossip rag that is all over London, that tells all of the deep dark secrets of the rich, famous, and powerful. And everybody wants to know who Lady Whistledown is, and you do learn who Lady Whistledown is before it's all said and done. And I'll say that was a bit of a shock for me. That was a bit of a surprise as to who Lady Whistledown was. I didn't quite see that coming. But you also had the resolution to the romance between the Duke and the Duchess, and they had some turmoil. They had some turmoil because, the Duke, he didn't want children because his father treated him very poorly, and he swore to his father that he would end the family name by not having any children. And that was like the way he would hurt his father, is by killing the family name. And he swore that on his father's deathbed. And there was a problem that was an issue between him and the Duchess, his bride. And I won't spoil how that ended, but they came to a resolution in their relationship. And they've set up various storylines going forward. One of the Bridgerton brothers is putting himself out on the market. He will be putting himself out on the market for the young ladies in the next season. I believe the 4th season of this just dropped, so there's like 3 more seasons to watch. From what I've been told, each season kind of focuses on a different character. So like we kind of focused heavily on the Duke and the Duchess this season. I don't think they really focus on them much at all in the next season. I think it shifts and it becomes a focus on a different character. So, whatever. But the next show that I was specifically told that I need to watch, I have been given a reprieve from Bridgerton, so I can take a break. I can take a break from Bridgerton. The next show that I was specifically told that I need to watch is Queen of the South, which I believe is about a woman with the drug trade. I don't know. It's a kind of mafia-ish kind of thing. I don't know. I need to watch it. I've been told that I need to watch it. And I'll check it out. I will. There's all kinds of stuff going on right now that I want to check out. There are new seasons of all kinds. There are seasons of shows that I have completely lost track of. Like, I don't know, like I'm at least a couple seasons behind on Tulsa King. I'm still working through Mayor of Kingstown. There's this chair company show on HBO that I'm looking forward to seeing. That's got Tim Richardson in it. There's a whole bunch of Star Trek that's come out that I haven't watched yet. There's all kinds of different shows that I need to catch up on, and but I find myself bored with TV. Like, I find myself like when I have time to sit and watch, I don't really want to sit and watch. And I don't know what that says. I'll tell you what, I would love to cancel a lot of these subscription services. If I didn't have a son who conveniently loved one cartoon minimum on each one of them, I probably would. That's why Netflix will never, for the life of me, I don't know when I'm ever going to be able to cancel Netflix. There's another one. I haven't watched any of the new Stranger Things series. And I've been wanting to, but, I always said after Stranger Things was done, I'm canceling Netflix, but I can't, because how the hell is my kid going to get Storybots? And we all know, based upon previous Villiger reports, that I watch a lot of Storybots when he's around. So I got to keep Netflix. But, I'm not exactly particularly thrilled with the way all the streaming has gone. And my God, it's gotten so expensive. And they just keep raising prices. And I don't want the ads. And so, for some of them, I continue to pay for no ads. But some of them, I've had to go ahead and accept the ads because I don't want to pay that additional cost, for the price level that has the advertising or doesn't have the advertising. And I think it's just a matter of just allocating your entertainment dollars. I'm enjoying Audible. And so I canceled some subscription services in order to do that. But I just think it's a matter of just allocating your entertainment dollar. Although, to be honest, who's got much in the way of entertainment dollars right now? I saw a report recently talking about, the United States, and it was a poll of the citizenry, and my God, we're all feeling the pinch. We're all feeling, guys, can you believe Christmas is like, what? Less than 2 weeks away. By the time this episode drops, it'll be less than 2 weeks away. And I don't know about the rest of you, but like, I've done some Christmas shopping, not much. And right now, Ross is my best friend because that store, aside from just clothes, they get in all kinds of shit at deep discount bargain prices, because what they're buying is they're getting the stuff that's not moving at other places and they're putting it there for cheap. And, look, I'm not buying junk. I don't buy junk for people. It's like, but like, I've popped in, and if I see something that I'm like, oh, that person might actually like this, then I will buy that. I got a gift the other day for somebody, and it was $10. And I think this is like for me to go out and get this normally would probably be about $30. So I'm happy with that. But like, but what my point to that is, that store is busy as shit. Nobody can afford shit right now. And, it's rough out there, and it's just getting rougher. And I don't know, healthcare costs, my healthcare is about to shoot up. Everybody's got bills, and a lot of people are living on credit cards in order to maintain a lifestyle that they had before everything got so expensive. That's not great. Some people are living on credit cards in order to just get by. So like it's not a great time right now, economically. And so, look, these streaming companies coming at you and saying like, oh, we're going to have to raise this and we're going to do this and whatever. Boy, they're pricing themselves out of the game. They're pricing themselves right out of the game, because at the end, ultimately, I don't need all of these streaming services. In fact, some of them are going to be cut before the end of this month, because there's just some I just don't watch. Hulu is a really good example. The last time I watched Hulu was King of the Hill, and that was a while ago, guys. It was a while ago on this show. Disney Plus, to be honest, I got it back in the day for all the Marvel stuff. Truthfully, the Marvel stuff hasn't really kept my interest all that well, and I'm ready to kind of go ahead and give Disney Plus the boot. Paramount, I like enough stuff on Paramount that I'm going to keep it, and it's, to be honest, one of the cheaper ones. So I'll keep them around. Amazon Prime. My Amazon Prime is coming up for renewal, and for whatever reason, that is set to an annual renewal, and that's $139. And to be honest, I think Amazon Prime is going to get the cut. The shows, I don't watch a whole lot of stuff on Amazon. There's stuff on Amazon that I care about, but I don't watch it. And what I do care about, I've already watched. I've watched Top Gear and Grand Tour like a billion times, but fuck, I can go on YouTube and watch compilations. That Top Gear on YouTube has a live channel where they are running old clips from old Top Gear shows 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365. It's live. You just jump in where they're at and you leave when you want to leave and whatever. So like, I can watch the best of Top Gear anytime I want. Why do I need to pay Prime? The only reason that I would keep Amazon Prime has nothing to do with the TV. It has everything to do with the shipping. In order to get the shipping cheap and quick, that would be the only reason that I would want to keep it. Where we at? Now, realistically, though, how much shit do I need on Amazon? Every once in a while, I buy stuff, but like, do I need a lot of the shit that I buy. Not particularly. It's been good for components for the podcast, and there's various things that I've purchased on there, but like, maybe if I didn't have that shipping option, maybe I would cut down on some of my Amazon shopping too. I mean, I don't do a lot, but for what I do, maybe it would cut down on that. I don't know. My point is the entertainment dollars, is definitely needing to be cut down. So anyway, all right. Well, let's move on now and do this. It's time to fly high with Blackbird Cigars. Blackbird Cigars offers you remarkable quality using the most delicate and finest tobacco to always ensure that you're receiving unsurpassed cigars. Blackbird Cigars strives to give you undoubted repeating flavor for every cigar you smoke and impressive quality so that you can always expect greatness. Check out their website for a full list of stores carrying Blackbird Cigars and give them a test flight. Blackbird Cigars can't clip our wings. All righty. So, as you all know, we've kind of shifted the focus of the Blackbird segment. And so in the mid-1800s, European smokers complained that Cuban cigars stained their gloves with tobacco oils. Enter Gustav Bach, a Dutch cigar importer who supposedly, now there is some, he's one of two alternating stories about where this may have started. But Gustav supposedly began wrapping a small paper ring around each cigar to keep customers' fingers clean and to show off his brand, Bach & Co. Or Bach y Co. It's basically Bach & Company, but just in Spanish. Even though the cigar band had existed since the 18th century, it was not made from paper, but rather silk cloth. Suppose H. Upman was the other one that people had, kind of said that it had something to do with the band. But be that as it may, whether Bach invented the band or simply popularized it, the idea spread like wildfire. And by the turn of the century, cigar bands had become tiny pieces of art with lithographers competing to create brilliant gold foil designs that are still collected today. Now, fun little side note. In 1910, well, this isn't fun. In 1910, Gustav Bach died, and the Bach y Ca is slowly sinking into oblivion. All right, so the company, he dies, company kind of goes kaput. In 1998, Villiger took over Bach y Ca, and 88 years after Gustav Bach's death, Villiger breathed new life into the line and put out a Bach cigar, gave it a traditional brand, gave the traditional brand a fresh and modern look using the interplay of subtle beige and intense blue. Bach cigars continue to delight lovers of mild Dominican cigars. In fact, in 2024, Villiger put out a 25th anniversary cigar of the Bach y Ca cigar, and that was in like a red band and whatnot. I found some reference to that. Now the Bach cigars from Villiger, I don't know if the blue and beige band, but at least the red, the anniversary one that they put out was only available in Germany and Switzerland. So Villiger's like kind of like home countries. So for what it's worth, Villiger took over the Bach brand and continued it on, and it's still an ongoing thing now. So enjoy the band on your Blackbird cigars and don't let anybody clip your wings. So there you go. A little bit of cigar band history there. All righty. Well, speaking of Villiger cigars, this thing is smoking amazingly nice. It's definitely taking its time, and I enjoy that. It's smoking very, very well. Guys, this is kind of a shorter episode, but that's okay. I don't feel like every time we need to go, forever long. And, the Nicaragua thing was the big thing that I wanted to hammer home. So, social wise, I am on Instagram at the Cigar Pulpit. I am on Facebook, where we have the Pulpit Parishioners group. I'm on Twitter /X. You can watch this on Rumble and YouTube, and I do need your calls for the Ask the Pulpit episodes. You can give the hotline a call, area code 863-874-0000. That's 863-874-0000. I forgot the damn number, like mid saying it. I am taking your suggestions, your nominees for the Parishioners Cigar of the Year. If you head on over to Facebook and go into the Parishioners group, there is a post pinned in the featured section at the top of the group. That post is me calling for nominees. All you got to do is comment in the comments and tell me what cigars you think should be added to the ballot. We have a decent list that's formed already. It's not as long as previous years, but it's pretty early still. If you are not a Facebook person, you can email me directly, nick@cigarpulpit.com. That's NICK@cigarpulpit.com. Just email me your nominees and I will add them to the list and we'll get that going. Once the list is finalized, that's when I will put out the ballot and you guys can cast your votes and we can figure out who is your choice for Cigar of the Year 2025. So we got that coming up. Next week, Cigar Aficionado will be naming their top 25 for those of you who care. I look at it because, you do, but to be honest, I would make the valid argument that I don't feel like it's been relevant for quite a while. The last couple of years, but I mean, not to shit on the winner. I don't want to shit on winners because obviously it's a big deal to those that do win to get that accolade, and that acknowledgement. On the flip side, I don't know if the reward is as large for a company now as it used to be. Retailers, maybe you can tell me. But I feel like it's kind of diminished. And, now you have Cigar Aficionado, you got Cigar Journal, you have umpteen billion websites. You've got the Cigar Authority, who, Dave, he started his Cigar of the Year back before everybody else. We've got the Parishioners. You've got, everybody, there's so many different Cigar of the Years that, yeah, I guess Cigar Aficionado is the one that everybody kind of looks to, but like, is it really that big of a deal or is it just one of many at this point? So I don't know. I will say I've been doing some interesting looking into Cigar Aficionado and I'm working on it. I've been, working on it over the last few years, and tonight I actually did a little bit of digging. There's a spreadsheet that I'm going to build, and I find it fascinating. I don't know if the rest of you will or not. Maybe those of you who are spending $10,000 for an advertisement in the magazine, you might. Yeah, let me tell you. The numbers don't make sense to me. Anyway, so that'll eventually come around. And speaking of publications, head on over to cigarpulpit.com and sign up for my free newsletter. That will be launching in January. It's going to launch digitally first, and then, I have plans to roll it out in lounges as an actual print thing. It's not going to be anything super, I'm not going to barrage you. You're going to get one a month, maybe two. Like this Nicaragua thing probably would have prompted like an alert email. It would have been a short, briefer version. It would not have been a full newsletter, but something like that probably would have been included. So, anyway, so head on over there. There's a little pop-up window that comes up. Sign up for that. And that'll launch in January. It's free. It's not going to be a big deal. It's just something extra, for you. So anyway, otherwise, guys, I think I've given you all I can tonight. So it's gotten late, and I'll be honest, I don't really have much more to talk about. So rather than drone on for 15 minutes just so I can say I hit an hour, guys, thank you so much. This has been another sermon from the Cigar Pulpits. I'm Nick. Everybody, stay safe and stay smoky. And if you like Nicaraguan cigars, go fire one up, because this was a good day for the Nicaraguan cigar manufacturers. But like I said, be watching and start planning ahead, because you got lucky this time, but are you going to get lucky next time? Take it easy, guys.